Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today to talk about the new player voting vote that is live actually on the MarvelStrikeForce.com website. But in addition to that, just what we can expect from these changes, right? But in case you guys haven't seen this, head over to MarvelStrikeForce.com. And if you scroll down, I know some folks that usually have a hard time finding this, but yes, the new Karen Page voting is actually just down when you scroll down, right? So they don't actually have a specific area of the website besides just going to the main page and just heading down. Now, what's nice about this, guys, is that we get some really good information here on Karen Page and what potentially could be coming up. So if you hit vote, there's 3 variants of your Karen Page, and I do believe this vote's happening for the next week or so. So you can see there's 3 versions, right? There's Elsa, Bloodstone Mentor. There's a Dr. Voodoo that's gonna be more kind of like a mage sorcery kind of traits. And then finally, I think this is probably gonna be the one that wins, because with what we've seen with these votes anyways is that once they get a head start on it, they just compile and snowball. I think it's gonna be the Morbius Mentor here, and I absolutely am a big fan of it because you can see here, right, it even gives you a little bit of clarity on what this character is going to be. But with Morbius as her mentor, Karen Page learns to access more of the newfound vampiric powers, gaining the ability to sprout her wings and claws. And also, we don't really have I know we have Morbius in the game, but I mean, this is just like the most iconic kind of vampire look that you can get. And I don't know, another Elsa Bloodstone version of Karen. I don't know how much value that would add because we already have Elsa as a vampire slayer. In addition to that, this Dr. Voodoo one, again, that sorcery kind of, I think this is definitely going to be the one that was interesting because I thought this one would be a favorite because, she's got the mystic arts training. She does look like a mage, and she does have, Dr. Voodoo, who's actually probably the most powerful character out of this mix and the most recent, right? So that's going to be very interesting. But now, I do want to talk about how, now it's confirmed with Man-Thing getting voted in. We know that there's likely going to be a rework or two. I do feel like this is the time, guys. I think this is the time where they're finally going to start bringing in maybe a character like Blade. Now, because of those 3 getting referenced here, and it just so happens that Morbius, Elsa, and Voodoo are also on the Dark Hunters team, does that mean they're going to get reworked in the future? There's a possibility, right? That's the thing with these reworks and updates. There's a very strong possibility. I mean, we kind of saw that with Hivemind as well. We voted for Void Knight, and we knew at that point that there was a very, very strong chance that some members of the symbiotes are getting reworked. And then that just so happened to both Carnage and Venom. We saw the same thing with, yours truly here being Pandapool. Pandapool got voted in. But even before his vote concluded, because he was a variant of Deadpool, there is probably a strong possibility that Deadpool or maybe Deathpool got reworked. And guess what? That happened to be the case, guys. So I do appreciate this. I think it's getting more predictable in terms of which characters and teams are coming into the game, which ones are getting reworked. But guys, as per usual, do not invest anything just yet. I know I'm pretty excited though, because if this Dark Hunter team is going to get some love, I do hope that Morbius is one of them. I think Voodoo is still actually a really good character. It's just, I don't like building up one toon for a team, especially if that one toon is a supportive role, in this case being Voodoo, right? But what we're missing now is a very powerful damage dealer. What we're missing is a very strong character to supplement this more of a mechanic driven team with their bleeds, right? And in this case, guys, I do think Blade is around the corner. Nothing's in data mines yet, of course, but I mean, typically what we've seen from these player votes is that a couple months later the character gets added into the game, and some of these data mines, these characters getting added, they've already been worked on. It's just they haven't actually been added into the game files, right? So just be mindful of that. I think the sentiment in the game has not been great. So maybe they need a oh shit moment here to actually unleash that kind of a character, as we've seen in the past when when the sentiment isn't right and the game seems to be kind of spiraling downhill with the events and activities. Well, that's when they have these characters in their reserve to unleash upon the public, right? So I do think that's a very strong possibility. But as per usual, guys, it's great. I hope this team does get love. I hope that the Vampires do have a second coming here, because it would be nice for them to finally be a part of the meta. And as well, especially if a character like Blade is coming into the game. So he's basically legendary, pseudo legendary status, right? And that's something I highly would appreciate. Now, the other thing I also want to speculate on, guys, is the fact that we know for a fact that these incursion 2 rates, we know how fast they refresh, right? Within the year typically is kind of the timeline for many of these teams, and we know that on the way out is the Mystic section here for the Bifrost team. This team is dated, guys. If you guys are watching this now and you're debating whether or not to build this team, build up Val, because Val actually has value in all game modes. But aside from that, Loki, Beta Ray Bill, Sylvie, Team Loki. This is how high I've built up my team, and I can still get through the 3 nodes in Incursion 2.3. Now, we also know that Loki is also needed for the upcoming Old Man Logan Legendary event, because he's actually going to be part of the Cabal Emma Frost mixture. So obviously, he's going to have a bit of value going forward, so you can actually build him up a little higher. But the reason another strong reason I think that the Dark Hunters are getting a rework or some kind of variant team is coming is because this is a Mystic team, and we need a Mystic team to get replaced in the Incursion raids. And also, guys, I want to point out this as well. We saw for the very first time when they announced Spire Society that this team would be the first team that's going to be needed for a required showcase raid, or spotlight raids, right? With these spotlight raids, it seems like it's an opportunity for the developers to really demonstrate how good a team is, but also require them at the same time, so that way players can't skip these teams. And if they want to partake in these deep and new kind of raid statuses, you're gonna have to build up the new and most up-to-date raid teams. So even if this new Dark Hunters team, whatever it's gonna be, even if they're not gonna be required for or the next Mystic team, that they're not gonna be the next Incursion raid, chances are more likely than not that this team is going to be required in some sort of spotlight raid. So either way, we're going to be waiting for that information, but typically we see this coming out in a few months after the conclusion here of the voting. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you log into MarvelStrikeForce.com. Make sure you're scrolling down to that main page I just showed earlier, and make sure you're voting, because you're going to be getting free energy, you're going to be getting free power cores, and you're also going to be making a difference in voting what your favorite Karen page is going to be, because that's going to be coming into the game pretty shortly here. And again, I don't think they're going to be a skippable team, but I definitely do appreciate the fact that this is going to be a second coming for the Vampires, and fingers crossed, hopefully Blade is around the corner sooner rather than later. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.